दुनिया भर में 1.8 अरब से अधिक लोगों को अभी भी सुरक्षित पेयजल की पहुंच नहीं है और लगभग 40% आबादी, जिसमें अनुमानित 16.3 करोड़ लोग बुनियादी पेयजल सेवाओं से वंचित हैं। लोग जल की समस्या से जूझ रहे हैं। यह स्थिति जल प्रबंधन, स्वच्छता और स्वास्थ्य विज्ञान में इनोवेशन की तत्काल आवश्यकता को दर्शाती है। इस महत्वपूर्ण पृष्ठभूमि के संदर्भ में प्लम्बेक्स इंडिया 2025 का आज भारत मंडपम नई दिल्ली में उद्घाटन किया गया, जिसने देश के जल चुनौतियों के लिए स्थायी समाधानों में तेजी लाने के लिए भारत के प्रमुख मंच के रूप में इस आयोजन की भूमिका की पुष्टि की। इंडियन प्लम्बिंग एसोसिएशन द्वारा आयोजित 3 दिवसीय कार्यक्रम में 125 से अधिक एग्जीबिटर्स, पॉलिसी मेकर्स और ग्लोबल एक्सपर्ट भारत के जल संकट को दूर करने में इनोवेशन और सहयोग को बढ़ावा देने के लिए एक मंच पर आ रहे हैं। इंडियन प्लम्बिंग एसोसिएशन के अध्यक्ष श्री गुरमीत सिंह अरोड़ा ने प्लम्बिंग की परिवर्तनकारी भूमिका को रेखांकित करते हुए कहा, स्वच्छ जल और स्वच्छता तक पहुँच सार्वजनिक स्वास्थ्य, समुदायों की सुरक्षा और टिकाऊ भविष्य को बढ़ावा देने का एक महत्वपूर्ण स्तंभ है। स्वच्छ भारत मिशन ने 2014 और 2019 के बीच अनुमानित 3 लाख डायरिया से होने वाली मौतों को होने से बचा लिया है। अब प्लम्बेक्स इंडिया 2025 जैसी पहलों के माध्यम से हम जल सुरक्षा प्राप्त करने और सभी के लिए समान पहुंच सुनिश्चित करने हेतु तकनीक और साझेदारियों का लाभ उठा रहे हैं। प्लम्बेक्स इंडिया 2025 जल संसाधन के बुनियादी ढांचे को सशक्त करने की दिशा में वैश्विक प्रगति को आगे बढ़ाएगा। यह प्रमुख आयोजन शहरी और ग्रामीण परिदृश्यों में दक्षता को पुनर्परिभाषित करने वाले इंटेलिजेंट वाटर सेविंग एंड वाटर एफिशिएंट सैनिटरी फिक्सचर और सैनिटरी वेयर से लेकर मापनीय तकनीकों पर प्रकाश डालने वाले अन्वेषक और जल प्रबंधन और प्लम्बिंग उत्पाद निर्माता को एकजुट करता है।
In the Helios Secretariat Council, New Delhi, and Regional Coordinator for South Asia, Embassy of Denmark in India. A very warm welcome to you, Falcon. I also invite on the dais Mr. Dekros Maslamani, President Singapore Plumbing Society. A very warm welcome to you, Maslamani. I now invite on the stage Mr. Minesh Shah, National Secretary IPA, and Mr. Mukesh Asija, Chapter Chair IPA Delhi Chapter. A very warm welcome to all our distinguished dignitaries on the dais. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, I'm sure all of you know about it, but in brief I would like to share with all of you that Plumbex India is India's largest exhibition of water, sanitation and plumbing. It has served as...
देखिए, दिल्ली में आपका जो पानी है वो 200 किलोमीटर दूर से आता है, क्योंकि दिल्ली की जो यमुना, हम जो दिल्ली में जो वेस्ट वाटर है, जो हम पानी जो वापरते हैं, वो पानी हम ट्रीट नहीं करते। 65% पानी दिल्ली में ट्रीट नहीं होता और वही गंदा पानी हमारे अच्छे पानी में जाके अच्छे पानी को भी ख़राब करता है। इसलिए अगर आप ट्रांस यमुना नोएडा जाते हो, यमुना देखते हो, तो वहाँ पर यमुना पूरी काली हो गई है। अब आप ये सिंगापुर से आए हैं, सिंगापुर प्लम्बिंग सोसाइटी के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, जहाँ हर यूज पानी, ग्रे या ब्लैक वाटर, हर पानी ट्रीट होता है और रीयूज़ होता है। अभी इंडस्ट्री को देते हैं, पहले पीने के लिए भी देते थे, लेकिन पीने के लिए क्या है कि वही पानी हम पूजा के लिए वापरेंगे या वही पानी कोई रिलीजियस सेरेमनी के लिए वापरेंगे तो वो अच्छा नहीं लगता, इसलिए वो इंडस्ट्री को दे रहे हैं। इंडस्ट्री आज 15 से 20% पानी यूज़ करती है, 70% पानी एग्रीकल्चर के लिए जाता है। इसलिए अगर पानी की शॉर्टेज हो, हमारी देश में 18% पूरी दुनिया की आबादी है, लेकिन सिर्फ 4% फ्रेश वाटर है, तो ऑलरेडी हमारे पास प्रॉब्लम है ये। और अगर हम अपने अच्छे पानी को भी गंदा करते जाएंगे, वो पानी फिर यूज़ के लिए नहीं रहेगा। इसलिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये एग्जीबिशन, शोकेस कर रहा है टेक्नोलॉजीज़ कि कैसे हम पहले अपने नल में, अपने शावर में, अपने फ्लश में, अपने यूरिनल में कैसे हम पानी बचा सकते हैं। एरेटर्स डाल के 50% पानी हम वहाँ सेव कर सकते हैं। अगर मैं 50% पानी सेव करूंगा तो मेरा 50% गंदा पानी भी कम बनेगा, मेरे को ट्रीटमेंट भी कम करनी पड़ेगी। कैसे हम जन संचय जल भागीदारी, जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया जल शक्ति मिनिस्ट्री की स्कीम है, जहां पर हम अपना ग्राउंड वाटर को रिचार्ज करें, रिचार्ज पिट्स बनाने के बाद, तो कैसे आज ये 1 मिलियन पिट बन गए हैं जल शक्ति मिनिस्ट्री के नीचे, नेशनल वाटर मिशन के नीचे। तो ये प्रोग्राम चल रहा है इंडिया में, और कैसे हम अपना ग्राउंड वाटर को रिचार्ज करें। ज़रूरी नहीं है कि स्टोर करना है रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग, क्योंकि 70% हमारा पानी ग्राउंड वाटर से आता है। इसलिए अगर हम वो ग्राउंड वाटर को रिचार्ज करें, हम आगे के लिए, हमारी आगे की पीढ़ियों के लिए हम पानी बचा सकते हैं। और तीसरी चीज़ कैसे हम पानी को ट्रीट करें। ट्रीटमेंट के अलग अलग मेथड्स हैं, यूवी, अल्ट्रावायलेट है, सीवरेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट है, तो कैसे हम ये आरओ है, रिवर्स ऑस्मोसिस, तो कैसे हम पानी को ट्रीट करके उसको रीयूज़ करें अपने अप्रोप्रिएट यूज़ के लिए। आज ऐसे बहुत से बिल्डर हैं जो पानी को ट्रीट करके फ्लशिंग के लिए यूज़ करते हैं, पीने के लिए नहीं करते, लेकिन कुछ ना कुछ तो हम यूज़ कर सकते हैं उसको, हम हमारा फ्रेश वाटर तो बचा सकते हैं। तो ये एग्जीबिशन में यही सब टेक्नोलॉजीज़ बताई गई है। यहाँ पर बहुत से स्टार्टअप को भी हमने बहुत सस्ते में स्टॉल दिया है, 50% में स्टॉल दिया है कि वो अपने प्रोडक्ट को डिस्प्ले करें, क्योंकि इंडिया में स्टार्टअप सिस्टम बहुत बड़ा हो गया है और बहुत से स्टार्टअप हैं पानी के सेक्टर में, सैनिटेशन के सेक्टर में।
Sir, who are the key industry players participating this year?
We have Ashirvad, we have Astral, we have Prince Pipes, we have Velo Pumps, we have lot of water treatment companies like Daiki Access. So the entire supply chain of water, from the water, we have Serra, we have lot of tap manufacturers. So from the supply chain of water to rainwater harvesting to the treatment of water, we have the entire supply chain of the water industry here at the exhibition.
Sir, when we talk about innovation and technology, how do innovation like smart water networks addresses affordability challenges for low-income communities?
Sir, let me tell you, I'm also part of the Indian Green Building Council, which is part of CII, where we have lot of buildings which are net zero water. What I mean by net zero water is that the entire water used in that premise is treated and reused for its applicable use. So I am not only saving water, because water is linked to energy, what we call water G. The more water, as I told you in my speech today also, water comes in Delhi also from 200 kilometers away. What is the real cost of water? So water, you use pumps for pumping water in your premises. So water is linked to energy. You save water, you will save money, and therefore it is not more expensive to make a net zero building today. If you look at a green building in the Indian Green Building Council, if you make a commercial building, it is 3 to 4% cheaper to make than a normal building. So if I have two buildings here, one is IGBC certified, commercial I'm talking about, it will be cheaper by 3 to 5% to construct. As far as a residential building is concerned, it costs 3 to 5% more. But the fact is that a residential building, if I am able to save 50% of my power cost, if I am able to save 50% of my water consumption, I am able to recycle my 50% waste, I am producing money, I am saving money. So my ROI, return on investment, is not less than 6 months. So it makes business sense to go green, it makes business sense to save water.
सर मार्केट में क्या परिवर्तन लाएगा?
हाँ जी,
मार्केट में क्या परिवर्तन लाएगा?
मार्केट में बहुत बड़ा परिवर्तन ये लाएगा कि पहले तो आपको आपकी पानी की कंजम्पशन ही नहीं पता। आप मैडम समझते हो आप लता मंगेशकर हो, और आप समझते हो आप मोहम्मद रफ़ी हो कि आप शावर के नीचे भी गाते हो। बंद कर दो गाना। अगर आपके पास गट्स हैं तो बाहर आ जाओ, बिस्तर पे खड़े होके गाओ। Don't think you're Michael Jackson or Beyonce and you sing under your shower. Because there goes away 150 liters. Second thing, I find lot of friends, they use the WC, the potty as an ashtray. I find girls throwing hair there and flushing and flushing and flushing. Where will the water come from? So we have to be very careful that when the tap is on, when we are brushing, we are soaping, we are shaving, or even talking on a cell phone or WhatsApping, the tap is on and there goes your water. So we have to...
Swimming pool code, uniform swimming pool.
This is the only swimming pool code in Asia. A lot of accidents take place in the swimming pool, and therefore this code is based on the fact that we treat all the water, reuse it for the swimming pool, and at the same, so we save water, at the same time we prevent accidents in the swimming pool.
How it emphasizes on water efficiency?
Well, water efficiency is such that all the water from the swimming pool goes back to a treatment plant, it gets treated there and gets reused. So there is complete reuse of swimming pool water. Of course, there are evaporation losses which take place, which I cannot prevent. Obviously, I'm not going to cover unless it's an indoor swimming pool. But the fact is that this code will show you how to design a swimming pool correctly so that it uses apt quantity of water, at the same time prevents disease, because water can communicate 70% waterborne diseases, as I told you in my speech, and at the same time we are able to make sure that...
Mr. Soren, what do you have to say about Plumbex India?
No, I think this is amazing that we have all the different technology providers present here today to all work together to make infrastructure in water much more sustainable. And I really hope that you will all come to the Danish stall tomorrow at 12:30, where we launch an innovative new energy-efficient pump from Grundfos, which will be able to save even more water and energy.
The ambassador will be there to launch that.
The ambassador will be there as well. So tomorrow at 12:30 at our country stand right down there.
Sir, as a long-term collab,
We do many things. So first of all, we have the second largest city of Aarhus. City in Denmark is Aarhus. They have a strategic sector cooperation with the state of Rajasthan, where we are bringing delegation of experts to Rajasthan, and we are bringing all the municipality people from state people from Rajasthan to Denmark.
Look this side, sir.
Yeah, but he was asking the question.
it's not
The whole press is there.
Okay, so that is a way where we work together for the specific challenges. So no challenge can be copied one-to-one, so that is why we need cooperation, because as you mentioned, evaporation, that is very different in India than it is in Denmark. Another thing we are working on, we are working closely with the Niti Aayog, with the Atoll mission, where we every year launch a water challenge which enable Indian startups to come to Denmark and develop their business plan, and that way we are then bringing in new innovative technologies into the world. Another thing we're working on, we're working closely with the Ministry of Jal Shakti, along with the Danish Environmental Protection Agency, where we're working on groundwater mapping. So in Denmark we have 24/7 drink from tap water, and even when we have that, we only use half the water per capita than India does. So we are bringing these technologies that we developed through the last 40 years to India, modifying them to an Indian context, and then rolling it out and helping India to meet the challenges of urban water management.
sir, could you share some measurable impacts of such technology?
So one of the things, as I mentioned before, we have 24/7 drink from tap pressure water. Now we have between 3 and 8% non-revenue water loss in our system. In India we have more than 50% if we even know how much we have. So we are of course also working in bringing pressurized solution. If you don't have pressure on the pipe, if you only use elevation pipes, you will not be able to detect leakages. If you can't detect leakages, you can't control the loss of water. So these are some of the things we're working on. We're also looking into using radar, SkyTrim radars, to basically ground penetrating radar to map water resources in India, and finding out what are the saltwater intrusions, where are there water that will be available, how do we use that. So in many ways we are engaging on water with India, and we are hoping to be seen as the premium partner of India for water.
Thank you, sir.
So in the U.S. we do have water efficiency codes. The Uniform Plumbing Code, which IAPMO writes. We have a code called We Stand. It's a water efficiency code. And in India, we have a code called WEPI. It's a standard, the WEPI code, and that is for toilet water efficiency and for tap water efficiency. So we built our lab in Bengaluru. We have just inaugurated the water efficiency portion of that lab just this week, and this will allow urban areas, rural areas to use products that save water. They don't waste as much water. So it's extremely important wherever you live, rural or in urban areas, to use WEPI certified products. Our lab can do testing, other labs can do testing, and hopefully the Indian government will want to adopt more plumbing codes, building codes. We write codes here for the Indian market, and we're always happy to work with BIS so we can adopt those as national standards in India as well.
Sir, India's plumbing sector is often perceived as a developing sector. I can say unorganized, but what would it take for India to build a world-class plumbing workforce like the US?
So to develop a world-class plumbing workforce, organizations like IPA are already starting that effort. What you need is the industry, the government to understand that plumbers need to be professionals. They need training, they need certification, they need education. Everyone just can't be a plumber with a few weeks training. You need a lot of training to do things properly. You need to understand the building codes, the plumbing codes. You need to understand quality products, safe products, certified products. So what you need is the government to mandate some professional certification requirements for people and for products.
Beyond this event, what concrete steps is US taking to foster sustained knowledge exchange with India?
So we do a lot of knowledge exchanges with India. We have a plumbing education program called PEEP. We work with the IPA. They have their education program called the IPPL. We work with the government agencies, the U.S. Embassy, the Indian Embassy. Our government relations team in Washington, D.C. often coordinates with folks in India so that we can exchange knowledge. And obviously the manufacturers, they are always global, so we have a lot of knowledge exchange with the manufacturers as well.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Students, respected dignitaries on the dais, Shri Abhay Purohit, Mr. Soren, Tom Palkan, Dikros Masalamani, all my fellow members of IPA National Executive Board, esteemed dignitaries and business leaders, senior government officers and policy makers, members of IPA National Executive Committee and Delhi Executive Committee members, Plumbex 2025 industry partners, exhibitors and our distinguished audience. I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you to Plumbex 2025. The vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, as envisioned by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, has inspired and energized the entire nation. It is a collective dream, a mission to build a developed India by 2047. And this dream encompasses the assurance of 24/7 access to clean drinking water and a holistic commitment to health, hygiene and environmental sustainability through effective water and sanitation systems. Friends, plumbing is at the very core of this vision. Whether in a modern city, a gated community, a bustling mall, a hospitality hub or a large infrastructure project, water, sanitation and plumbing must be prioritized. It is the only service directly impacting
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I can't hear you. Good morning. Let's bring some energy into this room. Well, we have in our midst Shri Abhay Purohit ji, National Chairman, Council of Architecture. Thank you, sir, for coming here. Mr. Soren Kanik, Commercial Councillor, Head of Trade Council, New Delhi, Minister Designate and Regional Coordinator for South Asia, Embassy of Denmark in India. Mr. Dikros Masalamani has come all the way from Singapore, President Singapore Plumbing Society. Mr. Tom Palkan is here from Chicago, Chief Technical Officer and India Director, International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials. Dignitaries on and off the dais, my fellow IPA National Executive Council compatriots, members of the press and media. Dear friends, I heartily welcome you with folded hands to this 100th gathering of the Plumbex India 2025. I am indeed delighted to see the growth of Plumbex over the last few years, where we have grown to a whopping 125,000 square feet, exhibiting plumbing, water and sanitation solutions, striving to make Bharat water positive. I would like to relate to you some alarming facts. India's water trade industry is projected to grow from US $2.54 billion in 2025 to a whopping $6.3 billion by 2034. That's a compounded annual growth rate of 10.6% over 9 years. The overgrowth phase of India's bottled water industry, currently estimated at $6.77 billion in 2025, is expected to nearly double to $12.56 billion by 2030. Alarming CAGR of 13.17% in the next 5 years. By 2050, India's water demand will double. About 70% of India's water is contaminated, with 50% of the country's rivers unsafe for drinking or irrigation. Is this progress, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think so. You cannot just look at the GDP of a country, you have to look at the water availability. Where are we going from here, ladies and gentlemen? The two most essential fluids required for mankind's imminent survival are air and water. And these have become the largest garbage cans and dumping grounds of the world, both air and water. In 2030, our demand for water will be 1498 billion cubic meters against a supply of only 748 billion cubic meters. That is a shortfall of 50%. Urbanization is hitting us high with expectations that 70% of the population will live in urban areas by 2050. Groundwater extraction has reached shocking levels where in parts of the country like the Devanahalli Kempegowda airport in Bangalore or parts of Chennai, we have to go down 500 to 850 meters, that's 1640 to 2800 feet to just touch the water table. And 70% of India's water comes from groundwater. Many of you may not know that 65% of India's wastewater is discharged untreated, and we only treat 1/3, 35% of our use of wastewater, and contaminate our already clean and fresh water supplies, including the Yamuna in our neighborhood, and then we have the audacity to draw water from 200 kilometers away. What, ladies and gentlemen, is the real cost of this water by the time the government brings it to your home? It's not what you pay, it's 50 times more the cost. With 1.44 billion and still going strong, we are exactly 18% of the global population of 8 billion. Many of you may not be aware that we have only 4% of the world's fresh water. And we are all aware of the fact that jal ke bina industry cannot survive, agriculture cannot survive, mankind cannot survive. The government of India is doing a lot of initiatives. They have initiated under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and the Jal Shakti Ministry have created ripples of change by launching many projects of massive quantum across the length and breadth of the country to benefit our country. For example, the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation of Urban Transformation, Amrut 2.0, is looking at 24/7 water supply for 4 million villages.
Another significant moment in today's proceedings, ladies and gentlemen. This is release of uniform swimming pool coat India. Water in built environment. All these releases, ladies and gentlemen, stands our testament to our knowledge, research, and the spirit of advancement and innovation. We are extremely thankful for your presence. Thank you for joining us. And we are very thankful for your presence and time, sir.